This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. I'm Brooke Brigham, and I'm the attorney.
And I'm Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist.
So today we are talking about Extreme Sisters. This is season 2. We're going to do episodes 4 and 5.
And I have to say, overall, I was a little disappointed over these two episodes. Because I feel like once you get introduced and you see the crazy, the initial crazy, then you get into the day-to-day life and it's not that interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of these things are just set up, like especially with Anna and Lucy.
Yes.
They're just made up, set up things. And that's the thing, Anna and Lucy, they have so many interesting things in their life. Mm-hmm. If we could just watch them live their lives.
Yeah.
Instead of doing this thing with the baby dolls and stuff, it'd be entertaining just to watch and see what they go through in a day.
Yeah.
Like, what would be wrong with that?
No, that would be great. I know. I think the producers think that we have to have, right? Producers always feel like we have to have something that maybe we don't necessarily need to have.
Yeah, like a story.
Yeah. But once you break some of these things down, it's just like, I just feel like in the 2 episodes, it was a lot of Randi and Jordan, and
they are the most boring.
And while there was a proposal and some exciting things happening, it was, we'll get into it when we get there.
Let's start with Anna and Lucy.
Okay.
So we leave off. They're still at the dentist office. This is like the 3rd episode in a row. They've been at the dentist. Okay, so Anna has to get her teeth pulled. And so Lucy says, well, what about me? What can you do for me?
And the poor dentist is like, your teeth are healthy. There's nothing to do.
He's just looking at her like, oh, dear God, I've got to come up with something.
Yeah.
So he does an x-ray of her mouth and he says, well, your left wisdom tooth is a little impacted. I guess ethically I could take it out.
If you're asking.
Yeah, and he explains the risk of, nerve damage and numbness and all that kind of stuff. And then it seems like Lucy starts to have a little bit of second thoughts when she hears that. But ultimately, of course,
they're going to get it done.
They're going to do it because they've got to be the same.
But hold on a second. But it seems like with the sameness, it doesn't have to be the same tooth. Because I thought the big issue was whatever tooth Anna
originally that's what they wanted.
Yeah. Because, I remember that. Yeah. But then, okay, so this is their compromise.
This is the compromise because the dentist refused to do that.
Okay.
So after the dentist, they go out to lunch and they meet up with some real twin babies. Because they still have their baby dolls in a double stroller.
Yeah. And they really, I don't think everyone was staring at them because of the cameras. It was really one of those things where people are like, those babies aren't real.
Yeah, you can hear people whispering.
What's going on?
Yeah. So they're negotiating the stroller up the stairs, and they're like, be careful, like there's real babies in there. So anyway, this woman comes by and she has a double stroller with 2 real twin babies.
But not identical.
Not identical. But they're both girls, I think, but not identical. So she sits down with them. Again,
they found her somewhere. Yeah.
And the mom asks, well, do you want to hold them? And they're like, okay, and so they're both holding the babies. Now the babies are squirming. They're touching them, grabbing at their hair because they're about a year old, maybe a little bit less. So they're grabbing everything, touching everything. And one of them says, oh, they touch everything, don't they? That you could tell that their OCD was really activated by these babies touching them.
Yes. And for 2 people who love control, having children is awful.
Yeah.
You think you have more control over your children than you do. You really don't. You don't have as much control as you think you do.
No. And the babies are squirming and moving. And so anyway, I think they held the babies for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that started them reconsidering.
Which I think that we have to give. I don't know if the producers set up the stuff with the babies. I don't know if the producers intervened. I don't know if this woman just intervened, but thank God they're now reconsidering having children. And this was the best thing that could have happened. I'm like, oh, thank God. Just have these little babies. That's enough.
Yeah, because they said looking after kids is hard. You have to always watch them, watch what they're touching. And so they go back home and mom is there. And mom says something like, how are the babies? Referring to these dolls. And the girls are like, oh, they've been sleeping all day. Well, that's convenient.
Yes.
You can just decide. They've been sleeping all day. They're just wonderful. See, I'm telling you, these babies are great for them.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. They can hold them. They can pet them like they were doing the last time. They can pretend and listen. Great.
Yeah,
that's enough.
That's enough. And then one of them says that if they had to watch babies all day, they wouldn't have the time to care about each other.
Yes.
They'd have to stop caring about each other all the time. And I was like, bingo.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah. That was very interesting. And so they decide they're not quite ready. Ben is totally indifferent. God bless Ben. I've decided that he is a saint.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, I guess Ben must really love them and love the one personality. And I think he just kind of feels like, okay, this is what I just have to deal with, or it makes my life interesting or something. I don't know. I still haven't gotten a handle on Ben, but I do think that Ben is, what Ben does, which is we see this later when they're interviewing for jobs, is that he's just completely accepting like of them and their mental illness.
Yeah, well, they're very lucky they found him.
Yeah,
because how many people would do that? And he said that their need to be the same needs some work.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about their next adventure?
Gosh. Well, yes. So we learned this before. The mom reads, I guess not tea leaves. She reads coffee grounds. Coffee cups, coffee grounds.
Reading cups.
And so they feel like, well, now that we're not going to have babies, they need another passion, another thing to focus on. They need something to do with their lives. And the mom starts reading their cups, and I can't remember how she came about this, but she said, that it's time for a new chapter and that it involves their father. And so we learn about the twins' father, who died 12 years ago. This sounds tragic. Died 12 years ago. He fell through a wall.
It was a scaffolding accident.
And then,
but he didn't die from that.
No. So he had brain damage, but he couldn't function.
Yeah.
He was bedbound. And then 2 years later, he dies of cancer.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my
Super
God.
sad.
I mean, So the mom thinks that they should start a restaurant.
Because did he have a restaurant, or he just loved food?
Well, he loved food, but I feel like he had a restaurant, or he wanted to open restaurants. If he was on scaffolding, it makes me think that maybe he was in construction.
Yeah.
But
he looked like he loved to eat.
Yes, he did. He was definitely a character, they talk about him. But the problem is that they don't want to just start a restaurant, that they need to get a little work experience, but they have to be the same. So, and then they talk about their past work experience. I guess they worked at a nursing home for 7 years. And that's how it all, that worked out for them, where if Anna worked, Lucy volunteered. If Lucy worked, Anna volunteered. And they take this attitude of, well, you're getting 2 for the price of 1. It's like, no, you two need to do...
You're doing the same job.
You're wanting to do the exact same thing. So, for example, if they're filing, do they each have to have B75 the file and to put it into the slot?
So.
Or together they have to walk over? Because it's not like you're getting 2 people doing...
It's not more productive.
Yes, thank you. That was the word. It's not more productive. It's just essentially 2 people doing one thing.
Yeah.
So... But they want to get a little work experience, but they're worried about going on interviews because they don't know if they're going to be accepted. So we see this montage of them, and they have one resume.
Yeah, they're like, we share a resume. Of course you do.
I don't know why that surprised me, but yeah, of course you share a resume. The best is, like, I didn't know, were all of these people part of in on it, or were some of them not so much?
I think the only one who was really in on it was the last woman, Deb.
The one that hired them.
Right, because the other people, they looked at them like, what?
Huh? Yeah.
Like, one resume? What are you talking about? So those seem like genuine reactions.
Yeah.
But Deb, this is the final place they go, and she's a setup, of course.
Yeah. Well, I like Deb, though, but Deb did... I have to say, even though she was a setup, I thought everything Deb said was like, yeah, right on. She was really just like, this is weird. And my business sense is saying no, but my heart and like you telling me the story of your father and why you want to do this, it makes me say yes.
Yeah. So she says she's going to give him a trial run. So I guess next week we'll see.
Yeah. Next week we'll see how they're doing in the restaurant. And again, I keep coming back to, this is the stuff I want to see. I want to see, do they each need to hold up the plate? If they're going to bring food, do they each need to hold a plate? Do they each pick a plate and one for one person, one for another? Like, I really want to know what that looks like. That's what's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I saw some scenes. They didn't show them. I think maybe they showed the scenes after episode 4. They showed some scenes of them working in a restaurant, and they were both literally had their hands on the same plate and were like putting it down in front of the customer together.
They are.
Yes.
It is my worst nightmare.
It is. We'll get to see it next week.
Oh, yeah. Anywho,
all right. Well, that's Anna and Lucy.
But you know what it is? It's funny with this show. They're starting to feel like the light segment.
Yeah.
And before it was so heavy and you just felt like, oh God, this is such mental illness and what's, these poor women, I guess I shouldn't say poor women, they're happy. So these just, it seems like a hard life. But now after seeing everybody else, I'm kind of like, these two are entertaining. I mean, kind of with them now.
Yeah. I don't know if they're that much different than some of these other people.
Yeah, that's true. So Jordan and Randy.
Yeah, Jordan and Randy are starting to look a little cuckoo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay.
You have to be cuckoo to get on the show.
Yeah,
it's just levels of cuckoo-ness.
True. Okay, so we have, Derek... Jordan basically forced Derek to go and purchase an engagement ring.
Yes.
So Derek's doing this big proposal at their parents' house while they all eat dinner sitting
on the couch. I thought that was so weird.
It was like, this is your romantic proposal?
Yeah.
Like,
you just spent $40,000 on a ring or $32,000 on a ring.
I know.
And that's a lot of money to spend on a ring. If you're not J-Lo and Ben.
Right.
So you spent all that money on a ring to then like nobody's dressed up. Like usually when women want to get proposed to, there's this whole thing I hear it from my clients where like you have to find something where they would dress up and look nice because the photos,
right?
But you can't.
But they don't suspect,
that it's an engagement. I mean, it's a whole thing.
Maybe they had an actual romantic proposal and they just filmed this for the show?
Yeah, I guess so. But the whole thing was just weird. And it was also like, your kids are coming over. You can't like put in a leaf in your dining table.
Yeah, where's their dining room table?
And if you're all regularly eating on the couch, like at least have some trays,
some TV trays. Something.
It was just so odd.
They literally, and they were eating off of like paper plates on their laps, and it's like this is strange.
It's like a picnic.
And then I'm looking at their parents, and I'm like, God, I think they're the same age as me. You know?
Oh,
their parents did not look that old.
No.
Like 50-ish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God, that made me feel old.
Well, but these are people that had babies in their early 20s as opposed to us who had kids at like 33, you know?
Yeah. But nobody cares. They're just so happy that,
No, but I'm sorry, but this was the best. Come on. So, of course, Jordan organizes everything. And again, I think that you're right that like, why is Randi and Jordan are attached at the hip. Mm-hmm. So Jordan keeps sneaking off to like have these conversations with Derek. But the best is this Derek proposal. They're like, okay, well, let's all say the blessing. Let's all pray. Okay, amen. And then Derek wants to keep talking. It was awful. And the best line was the end. Spend your life with me. Okay. I'm like, okay,
Derek. I went so enthusiastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. Derek does not seem like he wants to be getting engaged.
No.
And Randi's so desperate to be engaged that she doesn't even care that this proposal is so lame. She doesn't even care. She's just so happy. Oh, she's like, and I think Jordan even said something to the effect of, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished,
Yeah. Yeah. No, because they want to live together because they want to be together but they don't want to be single. And they want, and it looks like they want someone to take care of them financially, and they want children, I would assume, but they don't want partners. They want like a stud horse and a breadwinner.
Yeah, well, yeah. And they want two people who will tolerate them living together. And they think that Derek and Daniel are going to abide by this, but I don't know. I can't tell if they're just acting like they're against it or what. But did you notice that, the parents, Joe and Mike, they have a pug.
No, pugs.
Oh, more than one pug?
Yes, because I wrote, all of a sudden my note said, pugs, Frenchie. So, and then I was like, I think I have to like these people now.
They're people.
They're my people. So they had 2 pugs and a Frenchie. It was very cute.
Aww.
I was like, pugs. But even that doesn't make me like these people more.
It didn't help.
It helped a little bit. I had a little more respect for the parents. Yeah. I enjoyed the parents a little bit more. Yeah. But again, I also want to say, you can't be eating like that with pugs. I'm just telling you.
Oh, no, they'll steal the food off your plate.
Yeah, they will. So, and they were like they're pugs. They like hop, because they're little and they're lap dogs. They kind of like are constantly like, what are you eating? What are you eating? What are you doing? Yeah. So again, I would think for people with pugs, they would have sat at a table.
That was weird. But anyway, the guys are saying, separately that they only want to live together for maybe a year or less. Mm-hmm. And that this is just a temporary thing. They're saying it just to get along with the girls. And the girls are saying they want to live together forever. They want to raise their kids together and they'll be saving money. And so they're not on the same page, but
no.
So that was
the first episode. And then the second episode, we see Randi getting her braces off, which I thought was odd that one had braces for the longest time. I guess they both had to get their teeth fixed at an older age. I always think it's weird when adults with braces, you always have to wonder.
Well, didn't Jordan mention that she had braces?
Yeah.
So maybe it just took Randi took longer to get her. She had to wear them longer or something.
And then we watched something really, really... We watched them take the braces off, and then we watch... Randi wants Jordan, because it's so fresh and so nice to have the braces off, which I can imagine.
It's all slippery.
Slippery. So she's like, no, you don't touch them. I want you to run your tongue across her teeth. Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was
gross.
Yeah, it was gross. And then I thought, for a second, I was like, oh, God, I thought that they were going to cut away with the camera. And I was like, oh, God, no, we're watching it. We're watching it.
It was very quick.
It was very quick, but it was just a little bit like...
It was a bridge too far.
Yes. And then we see them back home. They're at home. They're brushing their teeth. And this is where we see this nighttime ritual where Randi and Jordan, they sleep together every night.
Most nights. She has to, what's his name? Derek insists that they sleep together.
At least
a few nights a week.
But Daniel, it looks like, so Daniel's the one that's like, great.
He doesn't care.
He does not care. He is so happy to be in that.
He's sleeping on this big sectional couch.
He's playing video games.
He's got his video games. And Jordan said that even before they got married, like, he's fine sleeping on the couch. He doesn't need to sleep in the bed with her. But Derek does not like it. He needs more attention. And they talk about how Derek is more emotional and Daniel is less.
Yeah.
Which
is actually good because I guess, because it looks like with the two of them, Randi is a little more emotional than Jordan. Jordan's like the alpha. She's all business. She wants what she wants when she wants it. But I also think it's interesting because I think Daniel, he loves his brother, but he really wanted Derek to leave. Do you know what I mean? When he was like, I think Daniel really enjoys his alone time on his L-shaped couch, playing video games, watching what he wants to watch, snacking, doing whatever, and then being done, like with everybody. So I think so poor Derek doesn't know what to do. He's wandering around this house. Derek. Yeah, because he's got no one. Everybody has something to do in the evenings, but Derek,
right?
Basically,
he's left out. But Randi does say that she feels badly about this. She realizes this is a problem, and she realizes that she needs to talk to Jordan about the fact that she needs to spend more time with Derek. And she's scared to do it. Yeah, she knows Jordan's going to flip out.
Yeah,
and that's not good.
No, it's not good. It really isn't. Those two, but I just find them a little, a little irritating.
Yeah. They're not that compelling.
They're not very compelling, and they're not particularly likable. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least with Anna and Lucy, I'm starting to really like them. With V and Ashley, I like them. I care, but I don't really like them very much because I don't think they're deep thinkers. I don't think that they ever, well, neither do Lucy and Anna. And that's the thing, right? None of these people can really experience anything or deeply feel anything or have any new original thoughts. They're all just so obsessed with this sibling.
Because they're obsessed with somebody and that's their whole world. They really are. They're all obsessed with each other. And it's not just the twins. Well, I guess the only ones who aren't twins are V and Ashley. Yeah. Everyone else is a twin or a triplet.
Well, and again, it comes back to when we hear this with the triplets and with all of them. It was so ingrained them early on. Like, this is your twin. You're the same person. You're alike. Be together, be together, be together. Right. That now that they're adults, they're like, oh, but this is my path in life. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. All right. So Jessica and Christina.
So let's see. Episode 4. So, okay. So this is John and Christina.
So Christina tells John that Jess wants a baby as well.
Yeah. She wants a baby with Josh, who's her boyfriend of like 3 months. And Christina feels stressed. She's caught in the middle. John does not want Jessica there for the birth. He says he has fear and anxiety about Jessica taking away the birth experiences from him. Like, she's going to jump in and pull out the baby or hold the baby first.
And honestly, I wouldn't put it past her.
No, and I'm like, you're right. Yeah. And but the problem is Christina does not feel that way. She wants Jessica there. And so she is caught in the middle.
This is my same bone to pick with Christina. Is one of the issues is that Christina needs to be the one to say, listen, instead of like crying and breaking down like she does, she needs to be able to say, listen, John, I want my sister there, but what are the boundaries? What are your boundaries? And I think it's good. She did say, like, I do need to listen to them. She acknowledges that both of their first marriages failed because they didn't put their partners ahead of that. And Christina, she's trying to change things. She wants to be respectful of John. I think that's great. But what she's doing is she's just listening to both of them and not saying, I hear you, I validate your experience, and this is what's going to happen.
Right.
You know, she needs to be it's her giving birth. She needs to be the one to say to both of them, this is your role, this is your role, this is what I want to see from you, this is what I want to see from you. But she's not doing that.
Yeah, well, and this is jumping ahead a little bit to the next episode, but when they go out to dinner they go on a double date with John and Jessica with John and Christina and Jessica and Josh.
It's a lot of J names.
Yeah, that's a lot. They're all, trying to get along and be friends. And John breaks it to Jessica that she will not be at the birth and she can see the baby after the baby's born, just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And that's when Christina started crying. But then Jessica says, okay, I won't go. She says she wants Christina to be comfortable, so she'll suck up to John. And Christina says John is being stubborn. So that I thought was big for Jessica.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like it was sincere. It felt like it was more of, fine, I'm just not going to go. I'm not going to go. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. Just the way she even says when she sits down, she's like, oh, John, you and I are going to be best friends. Like none of it feels authentic. Really sincere. But I don't think John's doing, both of them. Like, I don't think John's doing any better, too, because John is holding on to his frustrations about she tried to break us up. She tried to do this. She tried to do that. And it's a little bit of like, OK, John, you're married now. Like, you got to move forward.
And you knew when you married a twin and you knew how close they were. This is not new information.
Yeah.
So, no, they're both, everybody is being stubborn and
except for Josh.
Yeah, well, Josh is just sitting there like, oh, my God, do I really want to continue with this? And I don't think that she's broken the news to him yet that they're going to have a baby.
No. No. You know what? Josh is just like, I met this woman on Tinder. It's been fun. We're having a good time. And, good. We're here. What are we having? Thai and Vietnamese food? That was the restaurant. It was like Thai and Vietnamese. We're like having Thai and Vietnamese food. Great. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. He didn't know that he was in for all of this drama and he's just sitting there shell shocked.
Oh, yeah.
But
I do. Let's go back for a second, back to Jessica. So then we see Jessica at home with her son.
Oh, God.
And then Mike shows up. And so, and this is the other thing for someone who's quote unquote a healer and spiritual, I get the sense that she never, because obviously we saw from last season that she and Mike hooked up, right? And this is her ex. And I think he says it. He's thought that they were on their way to getting back together, like going in this direction. And then I think he just all of a sudden learned, oh, wait, you're dating someone? So her communication skills are not great because you should have had a conversation with Mike. You knew he was going to figure out. I think Mike is such a cutie and such the voice of reason because he is just, I just wrote this note. Mike is all of us. Mike is all of us because he's the one that's like, wait, what? You want a baby with this guy? Because your sister, like he named it, like because your sister's pregnant. You've been with him 2 months. Are you insane? Like, what are you going to do? And then their son hears it.
Yeah, I hated that. I mean, the son at Preston, who's like, I don't know, like 6 or if that, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something. And he's over there playing Legos right within earshot. And, it comes out that Jessica is going to have a baby. And Preston's like, what? A baby?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, people. And
well, no, this was my other favorite line. Jessica says she and Josh have known each other for through lifetimes.
Yeah.
And then Mike's like, what? Is that insane?
Yeah. And they've lived all these past lives together. So the fact that they've only been dating for 3 months doesn't matter.
They should absolutely have a baby together and tie themselves permanently together for the rest of their lives. And again, great idea.
She hasn't even discussed this with Josh.
No, poor Josh.
Poor Josh. When is he going to find out?
I don't know.
Which episode?
Yeah. Well, so one thing I wrote down was Jessica wants everyone to accept everything she says and does without hesitation. She gets mad if someone has a different point of view. And that's the thing that I noticed with her, where she decides these things. This is how it is. Everyone else needs to kind of get on board. And then when someone comes along and says, well, hold on a second, right? I mean, Mike has the right to say, we have a child together and what you're going to, wait a second. And this man's going to be in, if you're going to have a child with him, this means that he's going to be in my child's life. Like she just steamrolls everything and steamrolls. And I think that's what keeps happening for Christina. And she doesn't know how to like, stop. But yeah, Jessica really does live in her own world.
Yeah,
she really does.
She does. She's really something. But I think that's about it. Christina at the end, she says, well, if she says neither one of them will be there if they can't get along.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they're not handling this well.
Yeah. Jessica has a different perspective of what aunthood is going to be like. So yeah, that's that other thing too, is John's coming at it from this perspective of you're the aunt, give me a break. Mm-hmm. And she's like, but I'm the aunt. It's that same thing. They're like just these different perspectives of how people should be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these two.
Exhausting.
Yes, they are exhausting. All right. The triplets, which we saw very little of. We just saw one scene.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be meeting up with their mom to meet about this opening a restaurant idea, vegan Italian restaurant. And so Hannah is already up. Hannah, it seems, is the responsible one.
Yeah. When they describe each other, remember, like Hannah's the responsible one. One of them loves to sleep all the time, Catherine, and then the other one is something else.
Nadia. Yeah. I don't know, but Hannah's up. She's trying to wake up her sisters, saying, come on, mom's going to be here any minute. And, mom pulls up and comes inside and the two girls won't get out of bed. And, I don't know how much of this seemed very staged to me.
It either seemed really staged or the mother... You know what? It does feel very staged because we see that from the night before their toilet overflows and they're all, and obviously the camera crew's there because we're seeing it. So, and they said it was like 2:00 in the morning. So there was a camera crew there at 2:00 in the morning.
Or they might have been filming it themselves, do you think?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But then I thought it was very interesting. It's like, well, of course they're all going to be tired. They're not going to want to have a meeting at 9 a.m. So then did the producers then turn to the mom and say, none of them are going to be up. They were up late last night. So you go in there and you really stomp around and get mad. And, God, now I'm getting into these conspiracy theories. But if it was all real for the mom, I'm sorry, that mother really bugs the crap out of me. She irritates me to no end because, listen, she is pissed about something that is not happening.
It has nothing to, but also what she's pissed about something that has nothing to do with these girls. These girls are doing fine.
Yeah.
And she's acting like they are deadbeats.
Well, yeah. And she keeps her big excuse she uses the excuse of, I'm so worried what's going to happen to them in 20 years if they don't get it together, that she feels this need to complain and harangue them and be worried about them. It's almost kind of like, which the girls do, they do support themselves. You're not supporting these girls right now. You cannot worry about what is going to happen 20 years from now.
We don't even know what the world's going to look like in 20 years.
So you can't worry about what the world's going to look like. But I really feel like there's a part of that mom that likes this. Like this is, it lets her sort of, it lets her worry. It lets her
feel like she's got a job.
Yeah. Feel like she has a purpose, feel like she's doing things. And you could tell too, because the one daughter was up.
Yeah. And she wanted to, she's like, well, Mom, we can still meet. And she's like, no. And Hannah said that makes her mad because they treat all of them as a unit, so it's like, even though Hannah's awake and she's willing to meet with you and talk to you. Oh no, if all three of you aren't here, then then you're nobody. It's nothing. It's like all or nothing. And, they need to start treating them as individuals. And another thing to your point about, I don't know why this mom is so worried, because I was reading an article, about them, about some newspaper in New Jersey had interviewed them, sort of a hometown newspaper type thing, like, oh, these girls are going to be on this show. And, they're all 3 college graduates.
Yeah. Oh, God.
They are fine.
I didn't know that they were college graduates. I mean, that makes me feel even better because you don't just show up. The way the mom's talking about it is because they're young and pretty. This is why people are following them. I want to just say to you, as a son, I have a son who watches a lot of these video games and a lot of this kind of stuff. He's not going for looks. He's not, that's a tremendous amount of work to build a following that will watch you play and let you play in tournaments and will just give you money. That is not something you just wake up and do. And so that's what irritates me about the mom, is that mom and the family have never stopped to think about I wonder what goes into what they're doing. I wonder what the thing is. Because again, like I said, they don't want to know. They don't want to know because they want punching bags. This family wants something to bitch and moan about.
Yeah, I know. I don't like the mom at all. And she has this very strange like throat piercing. Did you see that?
No. Oh God, no.
In one of the confessional things. I mean, I was looking at it. First I thought it was a necklace. And then I'm like, no, there's no chain. She has like a throat piercing. Mm-hmm. Like right here, kind of like above your
interesting
bone. It's creepy. But no, she
pulled up in a really good looking, like she pulled up
like a BMW or something
that I can't afford. Like, so lady, you're doing well. So calm down.
Yeah. I don't like her. Less mom, more, more
daughters.
More daughters. God. Let's see what goes into.
Nobody cares about your vegan
doing
restaurant.
Your business. Yeah. Nobody wants to go to a vegan Italian restaurant.
Well, and also, I mean,
especially in New Jersey.
No, they're in Staten Island. They're in Staten Island.
I don't know why I keep thinking New Jersey. Staten Island.
And Staten Island is, as many people know, as boroughs go, it's the most isolating.
Working class.
It's very working class. It's very family oriented, very Italian, but it's also one that they're very stuck in their traditions, like that kind of traditional. So I don't know how that vegan Italian is going to go over, but who knows?
I don't know. Anyway. That was all we got from them.
Yeah. So to V and Ashley.
V and Ashley. They really...
Do you see a pattern here, V and Ashley? Across the board, you have yet to meet one person in your life that thinks this is a good idea.
Right. No, it's very clear that everyone thinks that V and, like we've been saying, V and Ashley just want to have a baby together. Mm-hmm. Everybody else be damned.
Yeah.
So Ashley is going to her mom's house to tell her mom. Now, her mom is the one who...
So the mom was the one that was married to V's dad.
Yeah.
And so at first I thought, it must have been V's mom and dad, and that V's dad married... Sorry. I always thought it was the other way around.
No, it's V's dad got together with Ashley's mom, and the mom that we saw.
Yeah.
But maybe they're not together anymore because Ashley was talking, I thought she was talking maybe in the past tense. Something about like even when she was with V's dad, she never liked V. Mm-hmm. Something along those lines. But so I don't know if they're still, she clearly... I don't think they're together anymore, and she hates V.
Yeah.
She always has. And V explains that basically because before, or excuse me, what is Ashley's mom's name?
Dana.
Okay. Dana explains that V basically took her relationship with Ashley away from her because before V, Ashley and her mom were very, very close. Mm-hmm. And, Ashley was a single mother, and Dana helped her raise her boys, and they were like best friends. And then V comes along, and all of a sudden she's doing everything with V. Mm-hmm. So it's like a lot of jealousy.
Yeah.
And so she's saying, so this is the lead up to her telling her.
Yeah.
So then Ashley goes in the house. V stays in the car.
Because V can't go in the house.
No, V's not. Oh, yeah. Well, Ashley, Dana basically said, she's not coming in here. And she's like, no, she's not coming in here. So they go in, and Ashley breaks it to her mother that she's doing this, surrogacy thing, and V is going to carry the baby. And Dana says, well, no, that won't be my grandbaby. And that's
not happy. Not happy. And again, I think Dana, like Demetrius, a little confused about the biology of what happens when you're a surrogate, because she was like, she's going to have V's personality. It's like, no. It's not. There's no blood relation. No.
Well, and also you can't pass your personality down to even if you were the biological mother.
Because then, if so, then everybody who gets a blood transfusion would change personalities. Like Dana,
Yeah.
But again, it's just so funny. Like she has the same sort of reaction that Demetrius did. And again, we have not heard from Demetrius. I mean, are they okay? I'm really worried about V and Demetrius.
He's probably still pissed. But yeah, and then Ashley says in a confessional, she says, no one wants us to have the baby.
Yeah.
It's us against the world.
Yeah. And
talking about her and V, like they're a couple. Like they...
Yes.
I know.
Again, I don't know. And again, I don't know if they feel like they have to do this for the show, if this is the show and in the back of the minds, they're thinking, well, this is probably not going to work. Or if these two are truly determined, because the two of you are willing to burn up your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your partner, you're willing to just set your lives on fire to have this child when you already have children. Ashley, I think I would feel very different about this if Ashley didn't have any children and this was her dream. And this, but again, you have two boys. You've given birth. You've raised children. I'm sorry it wasn't a girl. I said, I just glom onto my niece and I make her, and it works out very well. I just spoil her.
I think this is real. I do not think this is set up at all,
Yeah, but this was the best.
Yeah.
Sorry, this was the best part. So Dana's pissed, right? Because she feels like, Dana's mad because she feels like V should have come to her first and talked to her about it. And again, but
why? What good would that have done?
But again, you won't let V into your home. So I don't see how V is going to do that. And V, of course, is pissed because she's like, that's silly. She's a grown ass woman. I don't need to do this. And then Dana comes out and sees V and says to her, you need to be gone real quick. Don't say that to V. Don't say real quick because she's going to get out of her car and say real quick or what? I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well,
don't say real quick to V.
First she got her riled up because she confronts V and asks her, why are you doing this? And V says, well, because I want to. Why? This is my body. I can do what I want to. And then Dana again says that she won't feel anything about the baby because it came from V. And then that goes into the get her away from my house real quick.
Real quick or what? Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm with V on this. You don't own the sidewalk, Dana.
Right.
You don't.
Don't threaten her. She's just,
real quick or what? Just go back into your house.
Go inside.
And I noticed there was a big sign on Dana's house of don't enter these premises without a mask, but no one was wearing a mask. So I'm like, Dana, you got to update your sign.
That's a holdover
from the height of the pandemic or something. But this is the thing. V and Ashley, they're driving away. They don't believe that Dana is going to reject the child. And again, you guys are making a lot of assumptions. A lot of assumptions.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying that once Dana sees the granddaughter, it would be her only granddaughter, and she's going to change her mind.
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to know why she hates V so much. I mean, I don't know. That would be a good story to hear.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and I wonder if when that V's father and her got together, maybe V and her father had a tight relationship or something, and Dana was jealous of that or it bothered her, and then and now she's taken her daughter away, and again, all of this stuff, it's all about control. Everybody wants control over other people and what they do. And it's like, you know what, Dana, I'm sorry, but your daughter has the right to be friends with whomever she wants to be friends with. And I'm sorry she's not spending more time with you. Then you need to figure out, how do I make it so that my daughter will want to spend more time with me? I don't know. Stop harassing the person that I consider my best friend.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be part of it.
Start being a little more supportive and nice.
Well, I do think it's good to do these episodes 2 at a time.
Yeah,
because there's a lot. I just felt like in episode 4, nothing happened.
Well, and also there's not a lot of content. I mean, I don't know. I'm watching it on Hulu and I don't understand. I pay for Hulu with no ads, yet this show has so many ads. I would say it's at least a third of it, or maybe even more, is ads.
Oh,
so these shows are not very long.
Yeah.
They're maybe 30, and then they repeat stuff. It's really half an hour tops of actual fresh content.
Yeah. And when you have 5 different groups of people to follow, there's just these little snippets. Yeah, I'm so bothered by this because we have Peacock. We pay for the higher whatever of Peacock, the no ads. But then Peacock says, well, we're going to put ads where we want to. And so I was trying to watch Parks and Rec, a good binge rewatch. You cannot have commercials. I was just like, you're ruining this for me, Peacock. And then there are other shows. I'm like, hello, I'm paying the higher rate.
I know.
If you're paying the higher rates, there should be no commercials. This is the agreement.
That's what we're paying. Yes, they've lied to us.
Yes.
I'm so mad. I'm ready to get I'm so ready to just go back to cable. I can't even tell you.
But these streaming services,
it was cheaper.
Awful.
It was cheaper. Like what I'm paying now is more than I was paying before. And they promised, you cut the cord, you do this, you're going to save all this money. Bullshit.
Yeah,
it's a lie. Yeah, and then they get you in there, and then they keep raising the prices, and then they start putting in ads, and
and they're smart. What they're going to do what HBO originally did, which is don't get this, and what are you going to be talking about? Like HBO was very smart. They said, okay, we've got to make this worthwhile for people to
fork out
the money,
$10-15 a month.
And when you pay for that, it feels like, okay, good, I got something for this. But it's so irritating. Peacock, it's like $6, $7, $8 a month. And you're thinking, okay, $7, $8 a month, to get these shows. I didn't think I was going to get ads. I hate the ads.
Yeah, because I don't pay anything for Peacock, but it has ads. So...
Oh, you don't pay anything?
No.
Yeah, so we're paying something, and
you might as well just pay nothing and just endure the ads.
Ugh.
Anywho, I'm so upset.
Well, we only have like 3 more episodes of this season. If they are going to do last season was 8 episodes.
Oh, they might throw in an extra.
Maybe.
I don't know. These I don't know where these storylines are going. I don't know how much longer they can.
Who knows?
They can play out, but
we'll be back with Sister Wives with Extreme Sisters. Yeah. Maybe 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, and hopefully at some point in here, Seeking Sister Wives will come back.
Oh Lordy,
I love that show.
I've watched a few episodes.
If they're not coming back soon, maybe we could just watch an old season or something because. That's so good.
I think I watched the first season with the couple where they really just want a babysitter for their kids.
Ashley and Dimitri?
Yeah. Dimitri just wants to be able to have sex with other women.
Right.
Number one.
And Ashley wants a babysitter.
And Ashley wants a babysitter.
And a cook and a housekeeper.
Yeah, because she's got 3 kids under the age of like 6 or something. Yeah. Something insane. So
yeah, they're interesting.
I remember them.
And then there's a couple that's been on the last 2 seasons, the Merrifields, who they met this woman in Brazil, and she ended up dumping them. They went to first they met her in Mexico a few times, then they actually went down to Brazil, but she dumped them. Good for her.
Yeah.
Because they're just terrible.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Anyway. Okay. Well, I guess I have to wrap this up.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please subscribe and leave a 5-star rating and a review. That
tell
would be
a friend.
Great. Please tell a friend if you, we're doing Sister Wives content, rewatch, anything sisters, you know.
Maybe that's the direction we're going in.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We still cover documentaries when a good one comes up. We still do that. But anyway, thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
This message comes from Jackson. Taxes aren't something you can only think about once a year. With investments, planning for tax day is year-round. Fortunately, Jackson offers tax-efficient products. Visit jackson.com for more information on how our products can make your tax bill a little bit less painful. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.